Okay, let's start by introduction.
So my name is USHA Jevan. I am from the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University, and our real aim is to help individuals rediscover the intrinsic goodness. Our understanding is that as beings of energy, we have no gender, we are no nationality, no age, but we're really spiritual beings, and the intrinsic nature of that being is peace, love, happiness, joy. And when we get caught up in the external, we tend to actually focus on that and then plug into the negativities of the world. But if we turn our attention inward and we plug into our original, then we become almost insulated from the negativities of the world and we can start sustaining our real self. But what happens is that we become a bit weak and influenced, so we tend to seek outside for validation, outside for support. And the journey of the Brahma Kumaris is to learn to have silence, so we turn inside. And as we turn inside, we touch already that which is the truth, which is permanent, which no one really can touch and hold, but we can access when we turn our attention inward. And by doing that, we're growing our peace and love. So it's like we're operating from the inside outward. So even if the world is bringing things to me, if I'm radiating my peace and my love, I'm actually creating an insulation to protect myself. So what happens with things like hurt and even grief, whatever sorrows we have, when we remember that sorrow, it's like we experience that again and again. So we're living in the past. If we start thinking about the future, then we start worrying and have anticipation. But if we can just become present in the moment to acknowledge that what I have is that I am a living being, I am a peaceful being of pure love, happiness, and joy. And in that moment, I begin to take what is inside and bring it outward. And that's almost like drop by drop, creating a healing process by shifting consciousness. The thing in this world is there's many things to do and other people can tell us, but only I can heal myself when I shift my thinking. And that shifting consciousness starts by understanding who I am. I'm really not this physical body which is made of flesh and blood, but I'm an eternal, pure being of love that has never been born and will never die. And even just that feeling gives me a safety and security. But furthermore, I look at others also as spiritual beings, that they also a being of peace, love, and happiness. So that means my vision towards them is not negative. So I don't make anybody into an enemy, and I also don't create any attachment because I don't need anyone. I have everything that they have as well. And this kind of independence, or what I call self-containing, helps us to become powerful. So then we step into our own self-respect and stop needing things from the outside. And it's a journey about changing the self.
I was going to say, I mean, how do you do that? How do you silence the noise? What are the practical ways that we can step into self? What would that even mean?
So, for example, I think knowledge is required because we've been programmed constantly with the wrong understanding. As soon as we're born, we were labeled. As soon as we grow up, we are labeled as an age, gender, nationality. So, this kind of like toxin
Programming.
is programming that actually distance us from our real self. So just the re-education on the understanding that I call myself a human being. The human is this body, so I acknowledge it. But the being is beyond this body. It has never been born. It existed before this body and will continue to exist. So when I begin to understand that I'm really an actor, this body is my costume. So when I start thinking like that, I'll think, okay, this is one part I've played, but really, who am I? And then when I begin to step into that awareness of myself, I start bringing those qualities to the fore. But if I'm treating myself like a victim, I've been hurt and I've been abused, then actually I'm going to keep regurgitating that past scene and I'll feel the same pain again and again. So we're living in the past. So even though it has happened, how do we put a full stop? By knowing that in this current moment, when I create a thought, I'm pushing some energy out. And if that thought is a good thought, I'm going to bring back good things to be. So that's the healer. I become my healer. And I'm not waiting for anybody. I find that, look at all our people that have gone through trials and tribulations. They came out of it better people, more stronger people, because they had time to reflect. when you put in a prison and you can't go out, you access your own resources. And I think in a way, this negativity has forced us to realize that nobody can help us, but we can help ourselves. So it's almost like we need to acknowledge who we are. And so in meditation, what we're doing is we're spending time reflecting who I am. I'm this living being of peace and love. I'm looking at others as living beings. So I'm not sending negative vibrations to them either. So then wherever I go, good things are following.
Yeah,
And
right.
so like that, we begin the step that I myself am making a decision to make my life better.
So when it comes to, like, we're here because of GBV and femicide and the traumas we go through, how then do we process what you're saying and apply it to what we're going through as
I think initially when somebody has been a victim, people make them feel bad, bad things happen to you because you're bad. And that's incorrect. It's like we've become weak and so we've become victims. But once I've fallen, am I going to lie down or can I find a way to help myself? And so using this kind of understanding becomes the little things we use to pick ourselves up. But then at the same time, when we look at the perpetrators who have become the reason why these things have happened, look at them. And why have they become so sorrowful? Because some hurt exists in them. They say it's a hurtful person that hurts another person.
Yeah.
We give what we got. So that's when we start realizing that maybe the universe has put me in a position to start having compassion. So the mission that for me I really feel is important is that to go and find the root cause. And the root cause is to go to individuals and see where the sorrow is coming from and what we can do to create whole people. And the more whole the person is. And for me, I find that if I can forgive someone who has hurt me, how much growth there is for me.
Thank you. I wish we had more time, but we will be in touch. And
Okay.
thank you so much.
Sorry. No, your timing
Okay.
is perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh.
You just need to go speak to